The idea that men don't cry is best understood through a combination of socialization, psychology, and biology, with social factors playing the strongest role. Research in developmental psychology shows that boys are often raised with norms that discourage emotional expression, especially sadness and vulnerability. This is sometimes called restrictive emotionality, a pattern where individuals limit how they express feelings because of learned gender expectations. Over time, boys internalize messages that crying is unacceptable, which shapes long-term emotional habits. From a psychological perspective, many men develop what is known as emotional suppression, a coping strategy where feelings are consciously or unconsciously held back. Studies show that frequent suppression can reduce outward emotional expression, like crying, but does not reduce the internal emotional experience. Instead, it is linked with higher physiological stress, including increased heart rate and cortisol levels. It can also make emotional processing more difficult, leading to challenges in identifying and describing feelings. Neuroscience research suggests that men and women do not differ greatly in their ability to feel emotions, but they may differ slightly in how emotions are regulated. Brain imaging studies show that emotional responses involve similar regions, but men are more likely to engage regulatory control earlier, which can reduce visible expressions such as crying. However, these differences are influenced by learning and environment as much as biology. Biologically, there are some measurable differences. For example, women generally have higher levels of prolactin, a hormone associated with tear production, while men tend to have higher testosterone, which may slightly inhibit emotional expression. However, these hormonal differences are modest and cannot fully explain behavior. In fact, studies show that crying frequency varies widely across cultures, which strongly supports the role of social norms over biology. Cross-cultural research provides strong evidence. In societies with more flexible gender roles, men report crying more often than in societies with stricter expectations of masculinity. This indicates that crying is not inherently unmanly, but rather shaped by cultural beliefs. Clinically, long-term emotional suppression in men has been linked with higher risks of stress-related issues, depression, and difficulty in relationships because emotions are not openly processed or communicated. Overall, the psychology behind why men don't cry is not that they lack emotion, but that they are often trained, socially and psychologically, to hide it. Modern mental health research emphasizes that expressing emotions, including crying, is a normal and healthy human response regardless of gender.